You've always got to stay aware when riding, but probably the place with the most going on is at an intersection.
Especially a big, busy one. It's really the place to remember that even though you're on a bike, you have to follow the same rules and laws as drivers. Traffic lights, signs, right-of-way, all of it.
Well then, let's talk some intersections.
Great idea. Let's start by identifying the different parts and types of intersections, then we'll go to the safest way to cross them.
Woot! Starting us off, this is a controlled intersection with traffic lights. We've got the traffic lanes, sidewalks, and the gutters. Best to stay out of those because road junk ends up there, which can be a hazard, and you are less visible to drivers. Also, it's a gutter. Gross.
Suddenly, Miss Dainty? Here are your crosswalks, and here are your bike lanes. There are 3 kinds of bike lanes. Shared lanes, which have this symbol called a sharrow. Next, ones that have a sign that reads, "Bikes may use full lane," which are used to remind drivers that bicycle riders are allowed to use the full lane. Third are dedicated bike lanes for bike riders to use. When you approach an intersection, the left border of a dedicated bike lane will become broken, which means that cars may merge into the bike lane if they are making a right turn. So be extra cautious and aware when you see this.
Here are the left turn only lanes and the right turn only lanes. If there are arrows pointing left or right in these lanes, it means it is a turn lane, and you can only be in that lane if you are going in the direction of the arrow. There are also shared left turn lanes that are sometimes found in the center of a two-way road and are marked with dotted yellow lane lines. They are used to make a left turn by drivers from both directions, so be extra cautious before merging into one of these. And here are the lane lines. There are a lot of different kinds, but most important to remember, yellow divides lanes moving in the opposite direction. White divides lanes moving in the same direction. Sometimes, especially in neighborhoods, there may not be any lane lines at all, even though it's a two-way road. But don't sweat it. The most important thing to remember is to stay on the right side of the road riding in the same direction as traffic, and you're golden.
The next kind of intersection is a controlled intersection with stop signs, which, yes, you have to stop out on your bike and make sure it is your turn to cross. There are 4-way intersections where all sides have stop signs, then 2-way, where only 2 directions have stop signs. Be very aware of what kind of intersection you're at, because if you're stopped at a 2-way, cross traffic doesn't stop.
Then, there's the uncontrolled intersection, where there are no stop signs at all. These are always going to be in slower residential neighborhoods. Slow down and proceed with caution through these.
Lastly, let's talk about a few of the important street signs you'll see around an intersection.
Here's the stop sign. They say stop, and they mean it, until it's your turn to go. Usually, there's also a limit line, or a white line painted on the ground. This marks where you need to stop. Yield, which means you need to let oncoming traffic go first before you go. Next, good old green, yellow, red traffic signals. Green for go when it's clear. Yellow when it's about to turn red. If you're approaching an intersection and the light turns yellow, stop. Do not enter the intersection on a yellow. Red means stop. Drivers, both cars and bikes, can usually make a right turn on a red light after stopping, and if it is clear to go. The only time they are prohibited is when it is not clear to go safely, or when a sign says so. Merging traffic, which means traffic from multiple lanes are coming together into one. Railroad crossing. Choo-choo! Of course, stop if there is a train coming, or if gates are down, and be careful crossing the tracks. Always cross at a 90-degree angle, or your wheels can slip into gaps. And one way, which means that traffic, including bikes, can only go down the street in the direction of the arrow on the sign, though you do have the option of jumping off your bike and walking up the sidewalk.
So those are the main elements of intersections. Now make sure you watch the next few segments where we'll fill you in on the best way to move through those intersections.
Like a trilogy! I usually hate trilogies. This isn't gonna be totally lame, is it?
Your performance will be riveting. You'll bring the segment to life.
Sweet! I'm very talented.